So why would you hire a consultant? A lot of people feel like when they're starting a business, they know what they're doing. And a national statistic over the last 20 years is that every startup business has about an 80 to 90% chance of success the first year, the same the second year. So consultants come in handy by helping you guide businesses to be successful. The reason you would hire a consultant in this case is for high quality cannabis. I consult for cannabis businesses across the board from seed to product, and we help them to reach their goals economically and effectively by cutting out wasted revenue and focusing on productivity and overall yield. Excuse me, my clicker's being funny.
Yeah, it's not on the screens. They're having problems with the screens.
So a lot of what I'm consulting with clients on seems to be contamination of their product, destruction of their product, and both of these are preventable with professional consultation. Typically, the first few hours that I spend with clients, especially here in Utah, have a lot to do with pest management, specifically organic pest management, because with cannabis we're talking about a medical, agricultural, consumable product. It not only has to be food grade, it has to be medical grade. That means that you cannot cultivate your cannabis using synthetic pesticides. You also cannot allow it to become infected with powdery mildew. At that point, once it goes to the lab, your product will be denied and you have lost a lot of money. With the right direction, these things are preventable, and you can do that very cost effectively. So a lot of what I do besides the pest management has to do with nutritional diagnostics. I can look at a plant and I can determine what's going on with it, whether it's a pest or nitrogen deficiency, phosphorus, potassium, molybdenum, manganese, anything. The problem with at-home diagnostics is that typically these characteristics overlap. It's difficult for people to correctly identify the issue that's happening. And any one of these problems can dramatically reduce the overall yield that the client has and the quality of the composition of that yield as well. So the part I'm most excited about is cannabis genetics, or more specifically their phenotypes, the characteristics of their genetics. Not only are there physiological characteristics like rapid, accelerated life cycle progression, overall high biomass, but the chemical composition of the plant has everything to do with this genetics. This is called a chemotype. And about half of my consultations this year are just on the genetics that the client is growing in their crops and how they can focus that towards current market trends. So far, in the last year, I've done a lot more consultation types than I ever realized. Recently, I was doing legislature consultation for cannabis law for a few businesses out here, and just regular business consultation. A lot of it has to do with soil science, hydroponics, aeroponics, and aquaponics construction, and sanitary handling of product as well. Between the network of different consultants that I've hired, we have over 200 years of cannabis agriculture experience, and we've been able to use that to benefit each of our clients in increasing the overall amount that they yield and the quality of its composition. So, I lived in Colorado during legalization. I was able to work with a lot of patients, and it was really eye-opening for me because I watched them improve. I watched them get their lives back, and for me that was a really big motivator to pursue the industry, go to school, get a degree in botany, plant biology, and really understand what it is that I'm talking about so I can help these people. Right now I'm working with a few clients around the state, Utah, and out of state. Recently, I did a great contract with a company in South Utah called Happy Valley Hemp, and they're cultivating medical-grade smokable CBD colas, cannabis buds, and trying to meet market trends, which is really exciting. They have some super unique genetics, and they're trying to adapt them to the unique arid Utah climate, which is very challenging because this plant evolved in the tropics. You'd be surprised there are hemp farms popping up all over this state. They're just not telling anybody. There's quite a few in my hometown of Provo right now. And this picture on the right are some unique genetics that we discovered recently that can influence the composition of the plant. So the value of this plant on the right is more than any of the other plants in the entire crop, and it's immune. So isolating phenotypes is something we're really interested in. What we're trying to do right now, where we're trying to go, is essentially to try to consult for every business in Utah that has anything to do with cannabis, from cultivation to edible product creation, and then from there try to go to international consultations for corporations around the world, which we can do remotely, and also added monitoring services like security companies do as well inside of their greenhouses for environmental variables. Right now we're working with a company in Provo to develop software to monitor the environmental variables inside of greenhouse agriculture systems. We're very big about automating agriculture systems as well because that mitigates the cost of doing business and increases profitability for the businesses. We're really focused on the genetics because the genetics determine what it is that they're cultivating in the end and the quality that it has. Cannabis is a solid investment. It has been found in historical sites around the world since before recorded history, which is really interesting. It's one of the first cultivated crops. Analyzing market trends, we see that there's a constant upward growth, a high potential for development, and continuous growing public interest. Okay, quick, any questions?
Hey, sorry. All right, Robert.
So, super cool presentation. There's a lot going on in the space. I know a number of people saw your car. But what's keeping this consultation work versus them doing it in-house? Right. So how are you finding your market share there and interest? And then the other is how do you deal with the hemp side users and the cannabis side, the flower side? But how do you deal with other kind of federal challenges from the money laundering standpoint for you guys?
So, luckily for me, one of the first networking contacts I made here was a cannabis attorney, and he's given me a lot of direction. I consult with him and other consultants when I don't know what to do, which has enabled me a lot. So I've been able to take his direction. He's also shown me the legislature, which I grudgingly read through myself. It's pretty hard read. And so the advice that we give the clients is based on that legislature. We don't ever want anybody to break the law and waste their time and have to change things. That's very expensive. Also, the legislature is there for a reason, to ensure a quality product. In reading through it, you see how particular they are about powdery mildew, contamination, and storage, and that's really important to me. A lot of off-grid growers do not do that, and they produce a lower quality product that makes it harder for them to compete. Did I answer your question?
So, something that stood out to me in your presentation was that it felt like, at least what I saw and what I heard, was that you're going after everything. And if you're doing everything, you're doing nothing. So I guess maybe it's more of a feedback than a question, but I guess the question is that, what are you focused on? Because I heard a couple of really interesting things when you're talking about genomes and phenotypes and things like that. I feel like that could be a potential point of differentiation. If I'm a grower, if I'm thinking, how do I get more yield, or how can I differentiate myself as a grower, I would be interested in hiring you as a consultant if you were a specialist on phenotypes and mutations and things like that. So maybe it's just more of an advice than a question, but I guess the question then becomes, how are you standing out? Why would I want to hire you as a grower?
That's an awesome question. So I learned a lot of this hands-on before I ever went to school. This would motivate me to go back to school. And in doing so, it exposed me to the concept of phenotypes and genetic expression. And that sparked my interest. So personally, that's where my passion is at. The reason I've been advertising full spectrum industry, is because I've been involved in every part of that process. And right now I'm training consultants to replace me in some of those other areas because it is such a big umbrella. And so the biggest thing I'm looking for investments for is to hire and train competent employees, mostly biologists and salespeople, and then to market so that I'm personally not spread so thin. You're right, because it's a lot to market.
Maybe part of my question about the business model would be there seems to be a lot of opportunities within what you talked about that would be more appropriate to productize. So how can you create a return for yourself that's scalable by going into the phenotypes? And there's a lot of science that you seem to be doing as a consultant that you get paid for, and all that revenue kind of stops. You know, it's a shoe leather company where you're getting paid as a consultant, but you're leaving on the table a lot of IP, a lot of stuff that you're developing. I'm just wondering, is this always going to be a consulting business, or do you see yourself being a consultant, but then also creating products and creating IP and creating things that have sustainable revenue without you having to contribute every hour to it?
I see what you're saying. I'm really glad you asked that. I skipped over that a little bit. So the reason that this business can be very sustainable and not just marketing the consultation services, which are zero in cost for me, so it's 100% profit every minute I spend doing the consultation. But that consultation, it leads to an upsale, an opportunity for me to offer other services to my clients. Every single hemp cultivator I've met in Utah so far is essentially growing in our clay salt soil, and that allows them to reach a maximum of about 20% of their biochemical capacity for producing medical alkaloids. So every consultation is directed towards how can I give a solution to your problem. So my whole job is finding problems and fixing them for the client. That includes construction of custom greenhouses, anything in agriculture, including extracting, proper curing for a sanitary product in guidance to federal legislature.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyler. Can we get a round of applause for Tyler? Woo!